Hey guys, Ralph here, True Power Trumpet Fitness, and welcome to magnificent Monday. Ace, the toughest solo in the book, from Mel BROILES. Nobody played those bugle calls better than Mel BROILES. And I got words of wisdom for you. I probably should have done it on Friday so you could do this, use these little tricks on Memorial Day. But anyway, you got them in your back pocket, your toolbox. Anyway, I have played it today. Let's see what we got, and we'll take it from there. C trumpet, key of concert A flat. E flat trumpet. Piccolo. Now, wide open double C's, and then any variation of taps you want. And that is the artistic freedom you have with that, even though it may be, as Mel BROILES said, the toughest solo in the book. Now, the book he was referring to, remember, he went to West Point, and they had to learn, I'm not sure if they had to memorize, but they had to learn all those bugle calls. I mean, he showed me the book. There must have been 100 bugle calls in it. And he, in the most meticulous calligraphy you can possibly imagine, wrote out maybe 25 of them. You know, Reveille, Call to Colors, blah, blah, blah. Okay? And the toughest solo in the book was taps. Ace, everybody knows the notes. There's no singer there. There's no words to it. You're all by yourself. And also, Ace, there is no cadenza there that you can dazzle them with technique if you clam a note earlier. It's just you all by yourself and the beauty of tone. That was his explanation. Now, with that said, he had dozens of little tricks. Now remember, he was not only at West Point, but he was for many years the house trumpet at St. Patrick's Cathedral. So if there was a hotsy-totsy funeral, he would play at the cathedral with the organ, get with the motorcade, and go out to whatever cemetery and play taps. Made a bundle of money, and it was just sublime. Also, oh my God, any Mel BROILES person out there will agree with me. They'll agree with me. He could play those bugle calls. Oh my God. I mean, it sounded like a concerto, and he never even used a valve. It was virtuosity at its peak. Anyway, I digress. Taps. Now, 90% of the time you're outside. That can help you or it can hinder you. I mean, it can be raining, it can be freezing cold, it can be windy, it can be snowing. I mean, it can be 110 degrees. Okay? Now, that can be a problem, but it doesn't have to be a problem for your playing wise necessarily. Now, acoustics being what they are when they're outside, it's different. There is no reverberation whatsoever. Your tone just dissipates into the atmosphere. For that reason, you get to where you're going, where you're playing, a little bit early and play a couple notes far away from everybody just so you get that the acoustics in your ear. Because if it's the first note that you're playing taps and all of a sudden it comes out and it doesn't sound right, and it won't being outside, and you don't want it to startle you and lead to a clam. Okay? So get there early, honk a couple notes as far away from everybody so you're not, you are not upsetting anybody that may be in the funeral procession, whatever. Then, if you are too close to somebody and you feel really uncomfortable playing with a full big tone, 2 feet away from the grieving widow or whatever, just move back. Remember, so much of this in tradition is played from afar. You hear the taps coming over the mountain, that type of thing. So there's no reason, and you can just make up something. You know what? I'm going to make it very, very traditional for you, and I'm going to do it over here by the tree. So you have plenty of room to fool with that. And somebody just gives you a high sign to start, and you can play nice and full or not. Now, if they want you close by, okay, you got to do what you got to do, but it's very simple. Just turn away from everybody. Point your bell going the other way. Nobody cares. It will sound so much different, and it's not blasting right in somebody's face. Okay? So play around with where you're going to do it and all that sort of thing, but do warm up first. That can be a problem. Okay? Now, also, you can take it any tempo you want. You can make it like a cadenza and hold the top note forever and show off a little bit. Or you can make it very, very metronomic. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. You can do that. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. You can make it dramatic. You can hold the top note forever. Bum, bum, bum. Or you can just cut it off if you don't feel it. Bum, 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 bum. Nobody cares. You notice all the different keys I did it in? Nobody cares what key you do it in. Nobody cares what trumpet you're playing at. Nobody cares. Whatever feels more comfortable at that point, that's what you play. Whatever key, I don't care. It can be the key of concert F. It can be the concert B flat. You can do it all. You can all the false fingerings and not even move your fingers. Whatever you want. Indoors, a lot of times can be a little trickier because you are in a confined space. At a funeral parlor, they can be tough. Bring your harmon mute. Stem, no stem, it doesn't matter, whichever sounds a little better. Remember, they're used to hearing it sort of off in the distance, and you can just stand 2 feet in front of somebody and blast your brains out in a harmon mute. And it'll sound like a whisper. It'll sound beautiful. Auditoriums, take it backstage, like Pines of Rome. Just say, look, I really want to make this authentic, that it's coming from a distance away. And just stand backstage and play right into a wall, play right into a curtain. Okay? And this is all if your soft chops don't feel good. If you're comfortable with your soft chops, go ahead and do it. Who cares? Mel, and this is all from Mel. These are all his ideas. Check this one out. Don't be afraid to just go out in the hall. Yeah, if you're at a school auditorium type of thing, just go out in the hall. Instead of standing on stage with everybody, if you feel uncomfortable with that, just go and stand in the hall. You got to leave the door open, of course, but you get a cool acoustic in the hall, a reverb. It sounds great in the other room. We did this whole thing. I took an entire lesson on taps and bugle calls, and we did the whole thing. Mel went and stood out in the hall when he did it. He played it right in my face and then turned around and played the other way. These are all very, very terrific little tricks from the master himself. Okay? I've tried them all at some point, and they all work. They're all just terrific. It doesn't have to be a nerve-wracking thing at all. It doesn't have to, because you have all these options at your fingertips. And go have fun. And around Memorial Day, around Labor Day, and that type of thing, funerals, military funerals, guys, you get on the list. You can make a few bucks with this. You absolutely 100 can make a few bucks at this. I know in my area they don't even take military guys because they're so short in military trumpet players. They just get high school kids and fit them for a military uniform. They have them go play at a military mass, a military funeral out at the cemetery. The kids make a few bucks. Okay, so there you go. Words from the master. I tell you, nobody played these better than Mel Broiles. Nobody. Anyway, that's it. Enjoy your Memorial Day. Eat and drink fruits and vegetables and live your life with true power.